and welcome to High Five History, where every episode is a high five to learning.
Here, partner, we dive into stories, ideas, and texts. Breaking them down through content and content analysis. Alam mo, partner, nakaraan may nabasa akong book about Philippine history. And there's a lesson na nakakat ng aking atensyon. And ito yung context and content analysis.
Ay, sakto partner. May nahanap akong 4 historians na magtatakal about the context and content analysis. Today, partner, we are fortunate to have our 4 distinguished historians to help us understand about the historical context and content analysis. So, please welcome Mr. Denver, Mr. Gabriel, Miss Rufa, and Miss... Mr. Val. Mr. Gabriel, let's start with you. What is historical context analysis?
Well, in simple terms, it's about looking at the background of a source. Who wrote it, when, where, and what happened during that time. It's about bigger picture. Events, culture, or politics shaping the text.
So it's like checking the vibes of the inter-century before trying to understand the one things. So you're like stalking the era online before you try to slide into DM of the story.
Exactly, like one of the works of Rizal, Noli Me Tangere. He wrote it when the Philippines is under the Spanish colonial rule. It's published on 1887, during the time marked by systematic corruption and abuse from the Spanish. We've got to assess the scene's environment during that historical era.
Next, we're gonna understand the thoughts of the author and where do they stand. Just like Jose Rizal, who was part of the Ilustrado movement, educated Filipinos advocating for social reforms like making changes and improvements to laws and social system. We have to understand the artist and the symbolism of their artwork, like Juan Luna, who was a Filipino painter and political activist. His piece Polarium, which shows the allegory for colonial oppression and suffering of Filipino under Spanish rule.
Okay, Mr. Val, next question. How to do an historical context analysis, and can you provide an example?
We also have to analyze the context, inaction, and impact of the content of their work. For example, Noli Me Tangere, which based on our research was about the corruption or the unethical priests and oppressive colonial structures and promotes education as a path to reform, which helped ignite Filipino nationalism and contributed to the growing consciousness that led to the Philippine Revolution, or the Spolarium embodying the injustice and struggle Filipinos face under colonialism, which after became a source of inspiration for Filipinos.
Somehow diving into Philippine history is making me proud. It's not just creative work, but powerful pulse.
You got the idea, yes. Well, long story short, we need to examine artist's purpose, process, and legacy. Target audience and historical era to know the significance. Basically, it's a long process of research about the themes and ideas.
So context analysis helps us to see the behind the document. Not just the words, just the words.
Thank you, guys. So now let's move on the other method. Mr. Bal, what is the historical context analysis? I mean content analysis.
If context is the world around the source, content is the source itself. We can look at the actual text, its words, themes, images, and even tone. We focus on what the source says, examining its main arguments, biases, and factual claims.
So content analysis shows us the messages inside the text, while the context analysis explain why those messages matter.
Basically, content is the what and context is the why and how.
And that's it for today's episode, everyone, of High Five History. Until next time, keep learning, keep acting, and keep giving history. High five!